Have you been feeling tired no matter what you do, physically, mentally, emotionally? If yes, then this episode is for you. My name is Brinda Kalyan Raman, and you're watching my social media handles. If you're watching this video in YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified for the future update. And if you're watching Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, please press that love symbol or like symbol so that I will know that you like TOT series and you found this useful. All right, now let me share with you few tips and tricks which worked for me in the areas where I felt I have to declutter and detox physically, emotionally, and sometimes even digitally. Okay, let's begin with physical detox. You all should be aware of it. The first thing that you can detox physically is through your nutrition. Alter your lifestyle with small changes, some changes in your diet. You can choose to add a lot of porridge, liquid based diet, so your gut and digestive systems get clean. We can also fast. In our tradition, fasting is it's a regular thing that we all do. So in our family, both me and my husband choose ekadasi, which is the 11th day of the lunar calendar. Whenever we move towards full moon or no moon day, so that 11th day in specific is the day conducive for you to keep fasting because the body itself doesn't demand food, if you have observed well. Maybe that's the reason our ancestors had given a good observation on that, and they have fixed certain dates has fasting custom. So there could be many days, many reasons behind it, but then ekadasi is the most easiest day for you to keep up this practice of fasting. So the third best thing that you can do is when it comes to raw food, you can add 50% of in your diet. 50% can be raw food. If you bring this into your lifestyle, then you're actually helping your digestive system a lot. So I'll recap. The first thing that you can do is bring diet changes. You can include raw food, 50% into your meal. You can include liquid based food, and you can also fast. Now, the second thing is to take extra hours of regime. It could be 20 minutes in a day. That can be a regular routine. You can also beef it up to an hour or 2 hours of hiking when you have time. So with me, what I did, I have this habit of taking a break in the midweek. Usually, it's not a compulsion or it's not that specific, and I'm not desperate, but my own body alarms me that my eyes go tired or I don't. It's like brain freeze, right? I don't go beyond that, so I will know that body needs a break. So I will totally detox myself. I'll take a break in such a way that I do offbeat things. So like this, yesterday I took a break. I spent good time with my daughter and husband. I fed her in my own hands. I made her sleep on my lap. These are something that my child demands, so I give her in. We also did window shopping. We came back and did some fixtures in my own hands. I did some fixtures at home. It needs some physical activity. You also need to apply your brain because you exactly have to know how where to screw and all that. Here you cannot afford to outsource, so everything has to be done by the individuals. So we got to learn and live by it. So I did that, and I also watched a few episodes in Netflix with my family. I got some connection time with them. I spent coffee time with them in the balcony. We went for a small hiking. So whatever you do as a routine, there has to be the opposite of it. Then you are detoxing yourself. Okay, you're giving a break to it. And then the next best thing you can do is you can get fresh air. You can get bright sun on your skin. You can go for swimming. Swimming is the best exercise. Of course, it's cold here now, so we cannot opt for it, so we choose to go for hiking. You can also get some good sleep. I took some power nap yesterday, which is not very routine thing for me. I don't do quite often, but then I wanted to take a nap. And I also did some extra hours of meditation, which is not part of my routine. Because I took a break, I had some time. I sat for extra hours of in silence. I used to do this before marriage, but after marriage, life takes over you, a lot of demands around you, so you can't expect that conducive atmosphere where people can leave you in silence. So if that's not possible, you can always, once they have that understanding, you can always find time to take that every week. You can insert that extra time every week so that that also comes into practice and people around you also understands you better. Now, but whatever you may want to do, all these things may be found useful for you. You may want to, do it immediately. You may have that spark of energy to do it. But whatever you want to do, you have to sustain it. You have to keep doing it. For which you need to have your this one very strong. Because your mind rules you sometimes. It'll give you a lot of inhibitions, a lot of doubts. It'll resist, create a lot of resistance in you. You have to keep a check on your feelings, thoughts, your intentions every day. Otherwise, it'll definitely going to rule you because your mind, your intention, thoughts are your bosses. So how do we do this? When it comes to emotional check-in, emotional balance, you can follow 4 5 things that I'm going to share it with you. One, the very first thing is to know your feelings, because you should exactly know when you're happy, what makes you sad, what ticks you off, what gives you energy. You should know before it hits you hard. For this, the best thing is to label your feeling. You should be able to name that feeling. We are not taught in this, we've never been taught about this in our school education. Even after becoming an adult, nobody around us talks about feelings because we always underrate feelings. We've always been taught that when you express your emotion, you are termed as weak person. So you will have to get rid of this and start knowing your feeling words. Now it's not very easy because since we don't have that education, what you can do is you can search for emotion wheel in Google. I'll show you an image where feeling words, but it'll be in circle. The more the circle you reach the core is the most intense feelings in all of us. Usually, we work with only 4 or 5 intense feelings. That could be happiness, sadness, fear, joy, or jealous. So, all the other feelings are all the branches of this core intense feelings. So this works like a charm between me and my husband. Whenever we have tough conversations, we used to have a check-in in our intentions, emotions, and once you exactly know what your feelings are, you'll be able to express it well, and thereby it is going to help you in communication. So this has been working well with me and my husband. Whenever there is a conversation about any topic, any tough subject that we are driving, we have had nasty fights, okay, nasty conversations, but we have to overcome that. That's the whole point, right? We have to keep striving it, keep practicing it, and you should be committed to arrive at a solution. That's more important. So this tool works really well if you're able to know your feelings and able to express this to your partner. It could be your spouse, it could be your child, it could be people around you, or in your business, with your client. You will also be able to understand their feelings. That's it. Then the communication is two-way. The first thing is to label your feelings. And now, once you know your feelings, the next thing is to take an audit of your patterns. How are you applying that feelings? Where that feelings is leading you to? What kind of actions it is, letting you do? So you can take an audit. If you're a person who is not able to be aware, you're not able to reflect, you can take a audit of your patterns. Like you can jot down what you're doing, and then by the time you hit your bed, you can actually check what kind of activities you've done, what are the areas that you've spent your focus and energy on. So that area, if it's working well for you, you may want to continue that. If those areas are not working well for you, you may want to change it. And the next thing is you need to have an accountability partner. It could be a buddy, it could be your own spouse, provided you're in sync. And you should be committed to it. You should be genuine, and you should also be able to acknowledge the efforts taken from each other and also give constructive feedback. So once you have an audit, once you're able to also name your own feelings, you should then be able to take your feedback properly, give the feedback to the other person, and arrive at a solution. Okay, this works well, and this doesn't work well. This is important for us, this is not important for us. So this is a healthy conversations, both within yourself and with your people around you. Now, the next one, the last one is my favorite, saying no. Saying no to many things. It could be transactions or people. Saying no to a relationship which is not supporting you. Saying no to new friendships or even existing friendships which is not supporting you at all in your business goals or life goals. Because we have now never been taught to say no in our especially we are if you're born in 80s or earlier than that, we are generous people. We cannot say no because we sound so rude. We are mean to others. By saying no, we say no, we don't show respect to them. That's what we've been taught. This is our culture. But you have to overcome that. Because you say no to a particular situation, you have to be very clear in what you want. It just cannot be something that you want to ignore or avoid that you say no. You have to say no because you feel there are other things more important to you. So you need to be really very clear in your priorities. And then if you have the ability to say no, you are showing your conviction, full conviction, and thereby you're also able to minimize transactions. A lot of emotional stress is avoided, no anxiety around you. You don't have to rush for anything, for any reason, for anybody. You can also save a lot of time, and thereby you can increase your productivity. And trust me, this works like a charm, especially when it comes to emotional stress. Now, for the big elephant in the room. Although you're able to clear your mind, you're physically well, healthy, and all that, but then gadgets around you is making you fall into an endless pit if you don't have a check in. So, digital detox is another key area that you have to work on. How do we do this? Because in this day and age, we cannot run our lives without mobile phones, right? But then it so happened that it started ruling our own life. Technology is good. We should be able to use it. It's like fire, right? You can use that fire in either ways. If you're smart enough, you will use it for your own good and for good for other people. But if you're not so, if you're not thinking through, the same fire will destroy yourself and people around you. So, similarly with gadgets and technology. Now, let's see how do we digitally detox. The very first thing is to have minimal apps in your phone. With me, I never had game or any recreation apps on my phone. I feel guilty. And there was one thing called Candy Crush, which was very famous a few years back. When I was working, I was not into entrepreneurial journey. I could see a lot of people spending time on it and reaching many levels. Of course, I felt in trap for it. I used to spend a lot of time. I liked it, but then I realized it's not leading me anywhere. Now that I'm clear in my priorities, I don't have any recreation apps on my phone. If I do need a recreation, I'll choose those things which I just shared it with you. That itself is fulfilling for me, and that itself is going to take a lot of time. So please avoid unnecessary apps. Essential apps is needed. I'm into the business of social media, online entrepreneurship. So for me, social media is important. But I have those handles in check. So having minimal apps is the key for you to find time, more energy, and more balance in your life. So the next thing I do is to remove. I removed many notifications from my apps, especially with WhatsApp and Telegram, the chat platforms, because that's the killer of time. I removed notifications. I also muted few contacts, and I don't take unnecessary calls, whether it's marketing calls or with people around me whom I feel they're not supportive to my goals. I don't pick up them. I pick up the necessary calls from my close contacts and my family by default. Rest of the groups, I came out of all the groups. I felt it's not leading me anywhere. It's all the more the same repeat messages are coming all over the places. So I choose the groups. I only maintain contacts and groups which are closer to me and supporting my goals. That is the second thing. The third thing is no mobiles in bedroom, the area where you sleep. I recently read an article that famous phone, branded phone, has a metal in it. The new model, which is released, has so much of metal that is emitting electromagnetic waves. That is toxic and leading into a lot of impact for people who has a pacemaker. in their heart, or any kind of gadgets related to the health inside your body. And having your phone near you, it's only going to emit those waves, and it's not going to be good for your health. The gadgets inside your body is going to deteriorate and lose its effectiveness in the long run. So that is one thing to remember. Keeping your mobile away from your bed is also going to give you a better sleep. You may want to keep your phone for alarm, but what I do is I rely on my body alarm. The body itself will wake me up right after the 8 hours sleep. Once the 8 hours is clocked in, my body wakes me up. This has been my practice for a long time now. So I, irrespective of any time I sleep, my body tells me exactly once the 8 hours is over. So nowadays, what I do is I keep my alarm because I want to wake up before the 8 hours sleep. For many reasons, for my goals and other things. But I will ensure that I will have a fulfilling sleep because of these things that I practice. I keep my mobile, far away from me, so I'll only walk and pick up the phone to switch off the alarm. Because by the time I walk and pick up the phone, my sleep is all half gone. So that is another hack for me to wake up and start doing things in the morning. Next is to clean your newsfeed. This works very well for me, especially when I feel I have to, consume a lot when it comes to information that is tiring me out. What I did was I unfollowed many people, even in my close circles, my relationship around me, and for acquaintances around me that I have gathered so far, which has not been supporting me. Probably their news feeds are not very connected to me. I unfollow them so that whatever I have in the news feed, whenever I see my mobile, it's all positive and supportive for my goals. So you can unfollow them. You need not unfriend them. You can unfollow, and you can also remove the Facebook Messenger from you, unless it is business account. You can remove the Facebook Messenger, just like WhatsApp. The same notifications can be removed in Facebook Messenger too, because that is another killer of time. When it comes to YouTube channel, I follow only few people, business related, and my spiritual masters and my personal connections. Other than that, I will have my YouTube channel subscription also clean because I'm very conscious about the algorithm of YouTube videos. Most of the times I rely my learning from YouTube, so I'm conscious to pick and choose what I want to, lean on and learn on. That's more important also for me. And then email subscription list. So another trap that we all have, apart from the newsfeed, apart from looking at how many likes and comments we have, next is to read, constantly keep reading the emails and replying them. So I reply my emails in chunks, either in the morning or afternoon or evening, certain timing. I don't get time to reply unless it is from my community or something urgent, financial transactions or anything which is related to regular transactions. Other than that, I have this habit of unsubscribing, sometimes even blocking, spamming certain emails which I feel irrelevant. This works really well. So I exactly know my inbox will have those information which is needed for me. That way I'm saving a lot of time. I don't get to reply what is not relevant. I don't get to see their emails, see their offers. Only then I might even be tempted to buy their products. So I make sure that I follow only few people and I get their emails only, whichever is relevant to my business. And then when it comes to movie, because it is digitally, it is all in digital platforms now. So me and my husband are a movie buff. But then we don't watch movies regularly. Nowadays, I watch documentaries, which I feel, important and essential to know, and some inspiration that I want to draw from. Sometimes I, watch really offbeat, some humorous movie, or anything which is, some inspiring movie with my kid, like karate, kung fu, anything which is offbeat. But usually, I have this conscious habit of searching for documentaries, so that there's some amount of sensible, information coming across to me. Already, we are so much of consumption of information, but when it comes to documentary, uh, that has to be inspiring and something relevant to my business. So, watching movies can also be a conscious choice because you have kids around, and they also observe a lot. When it comes to our patterns, our likes and dislikes, they also get influenced. It's our responsibility to make sure that it doesn't fall on them. Now that you know you can do physical detoxing, emotional and digital detoxing, if you don't keep your spirits high, then it is also going to ripple in all your transactions in life. So, if you have loads of money, if you have a healthy life, if you don't have pure intentions, pure spirit, it's definitely going to affect your business and your personal lives. So, how do we do that? You don't have to necessarily mark up your calendar for this. You can do some twists and tweaks to your daily routine. For example, drinking water. How do we store it? How do we use it? And how do we drink it? Because water contributes to 70% of life in this planet, and so is our to our body. So it is very important that you drink water in such a way that it cleanses your system. You store it in a copper vessels. That's the more recommended one, or any metal, or it could even be a glass, but definitely not in plastics. Your water bottles should also be in metals. And when you store it in such a way, you handle the water also in such a way. Whenever you offer the water to somebody, you bless it wholeheartedly. And when you want to drink it, you bless it. This may sound religious, but this has a reason to it. Water has a memory. How you offer is very important. How you offer to your own self is all the more important. So, drinking water in a pure way is one thing that you can do. Second thing, appreciate and celebrate everybody around you, because that's going to ripple with positive vibes. Heartily appreciate and heartily celebrate, genuinely celebrate good qualities about people around you or anything around you. Bring your focus and energy to beautiful things around you. You start noticing the positive sides, the good side of everything around you, and then you will start radiating with positive vibes. That is not only going to de stress your own self, and also you will not be able to pass that stress to others. That's the most kindest act that you can do. So, lastly, you can do some small exercise to pay gratitude, to be thankful. Every day, you can write in a small sheet of paper 10 things that you are thankful for before you hit your bed, or it could be in the morning when you before you start something, before you start your day. It could be a gratitude for getting a good meal, having a peaceful day, spending quality time with your family, had a profitable day, you had more sales. So you can thank for many things. Having a healthy body, healthy eyes, hands, and legs, you can thank for many things in life. If only you bring that awareness to thank and appreciate and celebrate things, you will be operating in the mode of abundance. So, this is exactly what we discussed in the previous episodes. So, you can also do one more thing. Before you hit your bed, sit in silence for 10 minutes. Just take a deep breath. I do this as a practice. I listen to a particular audio which will instruct me on certain steps. I do that, I relax, and I hit my sleep without anxiety. In the heat of the run, this kind of tweaks in your life will definitely help you a long way. I hope you found this useful. Do me a favor. Pick up any one hack in any of the areas, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, or digital. Any one area that you want to make a change in your life right now. Next 24 hours, next 1 week, next 1 month, and 1 year. Write that in the comment box, and I'll be more than happy to see and respond to you. More importantly, be that inspiration to share this with somebody. If it's really worked for you, if it's worked for me, it should work for the other person also. So please share and tag somebody whom you think it could be beneficial. And because you stayed till the end of this episode, I'm going to share with you all that I discussed in a document where you can use it as a reference point in any time of your life. So click this downloadable link and you will get this document onto your email. With this, I will meet you in the next episode. Until such time, take care. Bye bye.